Sarah Ferguson just shared a secret that is shaking the world. This is the biggest royal news we have heard in many, many years. What you are about to find out was never supposed to leave the room where it was said. It started as a quiet whisper in a dark, fancy dining room in London. The room was filled with soft candlelight and deep secrets. In places like that, powerful people feel safe. They talk openly because they think no one is listening to them. This was the kind of story that was meant to disappear as soon as the dinner was over. It was supposed to be buried under laughter and the sound of clinking wine glasses. It was never meant to be written down, repeated to others, or shared with the public. But someone was recording that night. Now those recordings are out for everyone to hear. What Sarah Ferguson said does more than just scare the royal family. It completely breaks the story the world thought it knew. On that night, the woman we call Fergie finally lost her patience. She has been kicked out of the royal circle many times, but she always survives. This time, she spoke a truth she was supposed to keep hidden forever. The silence from the royal family's home usually lasts a long time, but this news moved fast. For a few hours, everyone was stunned. Fergie wasn't talking about her usual topics, like children's books or her charity work. She was talking about something much more serious. She was peeling back the curtain on a secret that had been kept behind palace walls for a long time. Sarah Ferguson decided to tell the truth about what goes on when the cameras are turned off. She spoke about things that were never meant to escape the thick stone walls of the palace. It was a moment where the Duchess finally stopped playing by the rules. She wasn't worried about being polite anymore. She wanted the real story to be known, even if it caused a massive storm for everyone involved. This secret was born in a place where only the most important people are allowed to go. It's a world where secrets are traded like toys. Sarah Ferguson knew that if she spoke, there would be no going back. Once the words left her mouth, the fairy tale would be gone forever. She knew the risks, but she chose to speak anyway, breaking a silence that had lasted for years. Imagine a room so quiet and dim that you can hear a pin drop. That is where Fergie let the truth slip. She believed she was among friends who would keep her secrets. She thought the walls were thick enough to hold her words. But in the royal world, someone is always listening. Someone is always watching. And this time, someone made sure her words were captured forever. In that candlelit room, the powerful people felt like they were in a different world. They thought they could say anything they wanted. They felt like they were invisible to the rest of us. But the recording proved them wrong. It showed that even the most protected secrets can find a way to come out into the light. This story was supposed to be buried forever. It was meant to be one of those things people whisper about but never prove. It was supposed to stay in that dining room, hidden behind the expensive food and the fancy clothes. But the truth has a funny way of finding its way out, and this time, it came out with a bang. The powerful people speak freely because they think they own the silence. They believe their money and their names can keep any story from being told. But Sarah Ferguson's voice was stronger than their silence. She showed that no matter how much power you have, you can't always control the truth. The world thought it understood how Meghan Markle met the royal family. We all thought we knew the story of the actress who became a princess. But Sarah Ferguson's words change all of that. They suggest that the story we were told was just a beautiful lie made to protect a very different reality. Sarah Ferguson has survived being an outsider for most of her life. She has seen the best and the worst of the royal family. She has been through many scandals, but this one is different. This one is about more than just her. It's about the entire foundation of the British monarchy and the people who have married into it. Secrets like this are usually buried under layers of polite talk and royal tradition. They are hidden away in old buildings where no one is allowed to look, but Fergie decided to pull the rug out from under everyone. She didn't want the secret to stay buried anymore. She wanted the world to see what she had seen. Usually these stories end with a laugh and a toast. They are forgotten by the time the guests go home, but not this time. This time the recording was saved. It was kept like a weapon, waiting for the right moment to be used. And now that it has been released, the royal family is feeling the heat. The recording was never supposed to be repeated. It was a one-time thing, a moment of honesty that was meant to vanish. But once it was released, it became part of history. It became something that could never be taken back, no matter how much the palace might want to erase it. What this recording reveals is a massive shock. It doesn't just make people talk, it makes them question everything. It shatters the idea that Meghan Markle was a complete stranger to the royals before she met Harry. It suggests a much deeper and older connection that no one was supposed to find out about. Sarah Ferguson's words didn't just rattle the windows of the palace, they shook the ground beneath it. She spoke about things that were never meant for our ears. She revealed a side of the royal world that is much darker and more complicated than the pretty pictures we see on TV. The entire foundation of the story we believed is now in pieces. Everything we thought we understood about Harry and Meghan's relationship is being questioned. Sarah Ferguson has pointed to a different truth, one that involves Prince Andrew and a world of secret yacht parties. The world is now looking at the royal family through a different lens. We are seeing things we weren't supposed to see. We are hearing voices we weren't supposed to hear. And it's all because one woman decided she had had enough of the lies. We thought we understood the world of the royals. We thought it was all about duty, honor, and tradition. But Sarah Ferguson showed us that it's also about secrets, arrangements, and protecting the family name at all costs. On that night in Mayfair, Fergie let her guard down. She was tired of the games. She was tired of the secrets. She was ready to tell the truth, even if it meant causing a huge scandal. Her patience was gone, and her voice was loud and clear. The Duchess has been through many hard times, but she is still here. She knows where the bodies are buried. She knows the secrets that could destroy the family she was once a part of. And this time, she finally spoke the truth she was never meant to say out loud. Fergie didn't spend her time talking about her books or her charity work. She didn't want to talk about the things she usually talks about in public. She had something much more important on her mind. She wanted to talk about Meghan Markle. The truth she spoke was something that was supposed to stay in the shadows. It was a fact that could change the way we see Meghan Markle forever. It was a secret that Fergie had been holding onto for a long time, and she finally let it go. Fergie spoke about Meghan, the woman who married Prince Harry. She talked about the woman who has been living a quiet life in California. She wanted to share what she knew about Meghan's life before she became a member of the royal family. Meghan Markle once told the world that she didn't know anything about the royals. She said she had never even seen a curtsy before she met Harry. She wanted us to believe she was an innocent outsider who just happened to fall in love with a prince. But Sarah Ferguson's words tell a different story. She said that Meghan wasn't new to the royal circle at all. She said that Meghan had been around for a while, specifically as a companion to Prince Andrew. This is a huge claim that changes everything. Fergie said that Meghan had been Andrew's companion for 3 summers in a row. These words froze the entire room. No one could believe what they were hearing. If Meghan was around Prince Andrew years before she met Harry, then her story about being an innocent outsider is a lie. California has been very quiet lately, with Meghan staying out of the spotlight, but Sarah Ferguson's words have brought the noise back. They have put Meghan right back in the center of a massive royal controversy. The woman who once claimed she was a stranger to the royal world is now being described as someone who was already on the inside. Fergie's words suggest that Meghan knew exactly what she was doing when she met Harry, because she had already seen how the family worked. Meghan's story about the curtsy was meant to make her look like a fish out of water. It was supposed to make us feel sorry for her as she tried to learn the royal ways. But if Fergie is right, Meghan had already seen plenty of curtsies during her summers with Andrew. When Fergie said those words, the room went silent. You could have heard a heartbeat. It was a moment where the truth was so big and so shocking that no one knew what to say. The fairy tale didn't just crack, it fell apart right then and there. Meghan wasn't new, darling. Those were Fergie's exact words. She said them with total confidence. She wasn't guessing, she was stating a fact. She knew what she had seen with her own eyes. Meghan was Andrew's companion for 3 summers straight. This isn't just a small detail, it's a huge part of the puzzle. It means Meghan was part of Andrew's private world for a long time. It means she was a familiar face to the people who were close to him. Just like that, the fairy tale cracked and the truth stepped in. The story of the lucky actress meeting her prince by chance was gone. In its place was a story of a woman who was already connected to the family in a very different way. Fergie didn't stutter when she spoke. She didn't act like she was unsure of herself. She spoke with the cold, hard truth of someone who has seen it all. She used a word that you will never hear in a palace speech or a children's book. She called Meghan inventory. This is a very cold and mean word. It's not a word you use for a friend or a family member. It's a word you use for things that can be bought and sold. It's a word that suggests Meghan was part of an arrangement. In the normal world, inventory means boxes of stuff in a warehouse. It means objects that are listed on a piece of paper. But Sarah Ferguson wasn't talking about the normal world. She was talking about a dark world of super yachts and incredibly rich men. In that world, money is more important than anything else. It floats thicker than seawater. In that world, inventory means something very specific. It means women who are brought along to keep the rich men happy. They aren't guests or friends, they are part of the deal. These women aren't treated as equals.